So, focaccia, the Italian table bread of the gods. Listen closely here. If you haven't tried your hand at bread, now is the time. So what exactly is focaccia, right? Why does it exist? And why is it just so damn good? Did you notice the hairdo change? Yeah. Really good editing, Josh. Really good editing. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I don't wanna overtalk this. It's a very, very simple Italian thing, like many Italian things, because the Italians love simplicity. I mean, I'm not Italian, so I don't know for sure, but when I visited Italy and I spoke to several Italian people, they always emphasize simplicity in ingredients. Quality of the ingredient and the quality of the cooking. That's it, and that's what makes Italian food so incredibly great, and that's why I love focaccia. And it's just a few ingredients, and it's one of the most wonderful table breads you can put anywhere, well, on your table.
Now, as with any bread recipe, it's going to start with flour, but I'm using a special Italian flour called Double O Tipo or Type 00. Now, while that's recommended, you could totally use all-purpose flour, no big deal, it'll be fine. I just prefer to use this to be traditional. Starting with 3 cups or 500 grams of your flour, you're going to add 1 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, which is about 4 grams, and 1 tablespoon or 11 grams of active dry yeast. And if you want your bread to rise, make sure that you're using a new bottle of yeast. Then just whisk all those ingredients together until they're fully incorporated. Now, based off of what I learned last time, we're gonna make sure that we pour our flour in separately from the stand mixer running because, well, you know. We learned our lesson. Now, starting with 1 1/4 cup or 300 grams of water that's lukewarm, or more specifically about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. With your mixer running at medium-low speed, you're gonna add your water to the flour mixture. Make sure that you do this gradually as it comes together. Don't just toss it all in there. Trust me, bad idea. And you're just gonna mix that at medium-low speed for about 5 minutes or until it becomes smooth. You could totally do this without a stand mixer. All you gotta do is knead it for 5 minutes instead of doing this in a stand mixer. No big deal. Once you're done with your mix, you're gonna lightly oil a medium-sized bowl with extra virgin olive oil. Then form your dough into a ball by tucking it under itself and then rubbing the base of it around on your counter in a circular motion. Just like that. Now you're just gonna drop your dough ball into your prepared bowl, roll it around a little bit, and cover it with plastic wrap. And now the easy part, just let it sit for 1 hour in a warmish area, sort of like 75, 78 degrees. Now, if you don't have that in your house, room temperature is totally fine. I got this really cool thing called a Broughton Taylor, and I really want to show it to you. Now, this is my fermentation station. That means I can create the perfect environment for whatever ferment I want with whatever temperature that I want. So in other words, I can get this bread to rise at whatever rate that I want it to. But room temperature is fine. Anyway, once your dough has risen for 1 hour and is pretty much doubled in size, you can go ahead and start your focaccia. First, you're gonna wanna slice half a cup of grape tomatoes in half lengthwise. Then you're gonna oil a 9x13 baking pan with extra virgin olive oil. And yep, you guessed it, flaky salt on literally everything. Flaky salt will fix your life. Just make sure that you're seasoning the bottom of the pan because you want the top and the bottom of this focaccia to be seasoned. Plus, the flaky salt sort of gives it a nice crunch on the bottom. Then simply invert your dough directly into your prepared pan, then gently spread it out using your fingertips to the border of the entire pan. Sort of almost like you're massaging it in the right direction. You don't want to be too rough here, just kind of gently coax it into the right direction. And if for some reason it jerks back, don't worry about it, just push it as far as it can go. Don't flatten it too much. Then just cover this bad boy with plastic wrap, making sure the plastic wrap does not touch the dough, and let it proof for 30 minutes at room temperature. Now for my favorite part, you're just gonna drizzle a generous amount of extra virgin olive oil all across the surface of the focaccia. Once you've done that, using your fingertips, delicately dimple the entire surface of the dough, sort of almost massaging that olive oil directly into the focaccia. And remember not to push all the way to the bottom, you're only pushing about a quarter or a half inch down. Next, take your grape tomato halves and some pitted Castelvetrano olives or just regular green olives and press them randomly across your dough. I like to use the dimples in the dough as little holsters for those toppings. Also, make sure you're not covering every square inch of the dough with the toppings. You want to leave a small amount of spacing between everything, that way the dough bakes properly. Then you're going to take the leaves of 2 or 3 fresh sprigs of rosemary and sprinkle them all along the entire surface of the dough. Give it another little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. I know it's a lot, but trust me, this is what makes a good focaccia great. Oh, what's that? Ah, my crutch, flaky salt. Give it a nice little pinch of that or just some kosher salt all across the surface of the dough. Now all that's left to do is to drop it in a preheated oven set to 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes, rotating it halfway until it's golden brown on the top. I don't really know why, but for this particular recipe, I'm just really excited. So without further ado,
and that is it. Focaccia really embodies beauty in simplicity. It's super straightforward, no weird ingredients, nothing that you've never heard of. Anyone can do this. Even people who don't really cook can pull this off. It is easy, and your friends will think that you're a bread god. That's what you want. One quick tidbit before we go. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to me and has been supporting me. My channel's really starting to grow, and I can't tell you how much work I've put into this channel. I mean, like, seriously, I put a lot of hours and hours and days and weeks of work into this, and I'm the only one doing this. I don't have a team, I don't have an editor, I don't have a videographer, I do everything myself. I just got eligible for the YouTube partnership program, and I applied, and they're reviewing it, and hopefully everything goes well. But I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting me and making this possible. I know it's only a small milestone, but you know, I'm starting to edge towards 2,000 subscribers, and it's a small milestone, but it's still a milestone for me. And you know, you gotta celebrate the little things. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you everyone who supported me. There's so many noises in the background. I'm so sorry. It's very distracting by me. Oh shit. I'll stop with the sappy stuff now. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next week.